Happy Boxing Day to our friends all around the world. It's Monday night as we welcome you to another edition of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Williams Grove Speedway is our destination for round 3 of Monday Night Madness, our third straight week in Pennsylvania, and it's the long oval that's tough and the racing never disappoints. Well, we're so glad to have you with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Marty Sakala alongside Isaac Salas and Dean Reynolds. Got a lot of brand new things here in store for tonight. Isaac, let's talk about the first thing that we are trying out here this evening, and that is the fact that we have no qualifying after practice. We go right into heats.
Yes, sir, and I think a big thing here is you're going to see some of those fast guys that are going to be kind of all throughout our heats and kind of taking away from that qualifying and then inverting the top 4. So I think it'll be fun. You might get lucky and have some fast guys that start up front, or you might have some guys that really needed that little bit there to start up front. So I think it's a good thing. I think it might be pretty fun. It should be fun to watch and hopefully to compete in.
Dean, both you and Isaac are racing in the Rebels, and let's talk about this as well. Tonight's Rebels race is 50 laps tonight. Of course, as well, there is a big tribute here tonight for Tom Downey, which is why the race is up from 30 laps to 50. We'll talk more about Tom in just a moment. But with 50 laps for the drivers, caution laps are counting. What does this mean to the drivers as they enter the feature tonight?
Well, with them counting caution laps, you really don't know what to put in for fuel. If it was 50 green flag laps, you'd have to fill up and pray. But since they're counting caution laps, me and Marty were talking about that earlier as Heat 1 gets the grid here. We're just going to play a little guessing game here with how many gallons.
Absolutely. We're going to waste no time and get you set and settled
Nice
here.
draw, solid job. Nice draw.
With our first heat this evening,
well,
heat race number guys, heat race number 1 is brought to you by Langdon Mechanical. Here's how your starting lineup looks. Preston Cranmer and Dan McLaren make up row number 1. Isaac Salas and Mike Cranmer on row 2. Neil Strausser, Kyle Sargent in row 3. Ralph Connor Jr. starts from 7th position. Of course, this heat race is brought to you by our friends at Langdon Mechanical. At Langdon Mechanical, we are the second to none heat and air conditioning company in the Hamilton area, and promise our customers our own professionally trained Langdon specialists will be there personally every step of the way. We guarantee your customer satisfaction from start to finish, including sales, installation, and maintenance service of your heating and or cooling system. Every equipment sale, installation, and maintenance service call we make is backed 100% by Langdon. Each heat, 8 laps here. Winner of this heat will start from pole position. We got a lot of great things around the corner. And while we are at it, let's show you Dan McLaren here, who is not in his normal 88 machine tonight, in a number 93 machine in honor of Jim Downey. We'll talk briefly about Jim Downey. That's the paint scheme he would always drive in real life racing, or crew on as well. Jim Downey, a lifelong racer and enthusiast, taken very quickly by cancer just before Christmas at the age of 53. He was a crew chief for the 39BS machine. Good friend of Dan McLaren's father, had been attending Osh Weekend Speedway with his dad ever since it opened. Steve King Foundation Pace Truck will make the left-hand turn into pit road. And, of course, we're glad you could join us for Monday Night Madness. Week 3 about to begin. The Ayla Outlaw and Dan McLaren will bring us to green. Heat race number 1 is on. McLaren and Cranmer go side by side through the first set of corners, and McLaren gets away with the lead. 3 wide, almost down the back chute as Kyle Sargent and Mike Cranmer just about touch, but Sargent with a huge run. And hang on, Isaac Salas rides the wall in 3 and 4. Luckily keeps the car straight, but the race is on for second team between the Ayla Outlaw and Kyle Sargent. But Cranmer starts to close in on McLaren for the lead.
Yeah, Dan got a little sideways coming off too and scrubbed off a lot of speed. And with the track state the way it is, it's all about keeping up the momentum because it's a lot of grip out there right now.
Sergeant just...
Oh, hang on.
Ooh, yeah, big crisscross from Preston Cranmer off of turn 2. Mike Cranmer is getting a good view of this one. So right on board with the driver, the 70, currently with the final transfer spot. Up by a second on Neil Strauser at the moment. And now Sargent starts to close in on McLaren, but McLaren, Dean just had the fastest lap by 0.2 of a second last time by, and everyone still ran the preferred line. Sargent got in the slick stuff just a bit early.
Yeah, and the tricky part, Marty, you're going to see all night is coming off turn 4. Turn 4 gets really slick up top, or 1 and 2 is usually pretty good. 4 is going to be real tricky, and that's where you're going to see a lot of the, if there's going to be mistakes, it's going to be coming off 4.
Absolutely, right on board here with Dan McLaren. As Sargent starts to close in, 17:04 that last lap for the driver of the 91. As you see them go side by side for just a split second. Sargent can't make the pass work. Let's go to the race for third position. Preston and Mike for the 3 spot at the moment. Mike takes a peek underneath. Can he get the drive off of turn 2? The Cranmers go after it. Nice exit from Mike. Oh, maybe too much right foot on corner action as we're at the white flag. One lap to go, and Cranmer's holding on for the 4th spot as Neil Strauser tries to close in, but I don't think it'll be enough.
Sargent trying to do a cut down, but Dan's far enough out, and hey, way to put that car in the pole for the tribute.
Absolutely, that's the perfect car you want to see win the tribute. Dan McLaren is on pole, Kyle Sargent 2nd, Preston and Mike Cranmer 3rd and 4th. Let's get to our second heat race of the evening. Heat race number 2 is brought to you by Venom Racing, official team of Dean Reynolds, Isaac Salas, Brian Lawson, among many others.
Well, remember, I'm just a mascot.
No, that's Buddy. John Rayner and Donovan Ross make up row number 1. Andrew Embach and Joseph Grandy, row 2. Joe Halter, Brian Dickens in row 3. Andrew Embach, by the way, coming off of the win in our Raiders feature that just happened just about a half hour ago. Drivers are following the Steve King Foundation Race Truck, formed to help the dirt track community across the country by providing financial assistance to drivers, pit crew members, race officials, track ops personnel, the immediate families of those individuals who suffer serious illness, injury, or death. Go ahead, Dean.
Yeah, I was going to say, Donovan got in early and then disconnected. I don't know if the weather's still affecting him or not.
I'm pretty sure Devo's a Renegades driver.
Yeah, I was going to say, or he might be a Renegades guy, so maybe he got in by mistake. Okay.
So, all right, second heat race winner starts on the outside of row 1. Green flag is out. Oh, look at the run for Joseph Grandy, top shelf, 2 for 1 discount. And half a lap, he goes to the point. Andrew Embach moves up to 2nd. Rayner and Dickens race for 3rd, but Dickens a big run up top off turn 4, Isaac. Dickens moves to 2nd, Grandy leads lap 1.
Yeah, that high side momentum was crazy, and he went right on around the top. And I think he's going to challenge here for the lead coming in 3.
Absolutely, Dickens with a big run. He makes his way through 3 and 4.
Embach's by himself. No one hit him.
Nice save for Embach in the 410, but he falls back outside of a transfer spot, 3.2 seconds behind. On board, meanwhile, with Joseph Grandy. Oh, Dickens caught the wall.
Yep.
Dickens caught the wall, and he loses a lot of time, 1.2 seconds back. Halter still in 3rd position. John Rayner currently with the final transfer spot at the moment here. What do you do here if you're John Rayner trying to hold off the Raiders champ, Isaac?
I think the big thing for here is just run consistent lines, and I think just don't let the car get away from you.
Cross flags just flew last time by. 4 up and 4 down. We'll see 3 laps to go for Grandy. Dickens has spun it in 3 and 4.
Oh, yes.
Can he get it going? He's back in 3rd. Rayner passes him for the spot, but Embach is right on both of their tails. On board with the 410. I know! Embach loses it in turn 1. Does no one want to transfer out of this or something?
Track is
Dickens
on
goes
Brian.
sideways. Good golly, Miss Molly, what is taking place here as we've got 2 laps remaining? Be 1 lap to go this time for Joseph Grandy, who went from 4th up to 1st in the span of 1 single lap. What a start for the 518. We'll start on the outside of row number 1. We'll see the checkers fly. It's Grandy that takes the win. Halter finishes 2nd. Rayner 3rd. And then we'll see Dickens come across the line in the 4th position.
Joseph got a top 5 in the matinee, so I think that's going to help him greatly for the feature tonight.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see what I can do.
Absolutely. We move to heat race number 3. Our 3rd heat race this evening is brought to you by the Salty Dogs race team. Salty Dogs, composed of many of the senior members of the Coast to Coast Racing League, and have been released from the home to create havoc and chaos on the track. When 3 or more dogs are in a race, a dog bone will be awarded to the highest finisher.
Look at this heat.
Yeah, look at
I drove
this.
the super heat. Jeez. Welcome back, Dean.
Gavin Chatham and Roger Craig on row 1. Dean Reynolds and Andy Pat in row 2. Row number 3, Keith Jackson and Kurt Schatzer. Isaac, what are you expecting out of this heat? This is a heat that looks like a salty dog heat with the exception of row number 3.
Yeah, there's some heavy hitters in here either way. I think that high side just becoming a little bit more treacherous as we see in that 2nd heat. I think a lot of people were starting to lose it, so I'm excited to see if the bottom can kind of make its presence felt.
I hope so.
Absolutely. So we'll see what good this comes out of it. Heat race number 3 underway here at Williams Grove. Chatham gets away with the jump, slides up in front of Roger Craig early. Craig tries the crisscross. Couple of drivers scrape the wall down the back chute. Dean Reynolds also a part of this one. Craig bad. Oh, look out, Holland. He's Keith Jackson, rather. Side over side, end over end goes the 113. And hello be made for him. Wild, rambunctious flip for the driver, the formerly known as 01. Meanwhile, Isaac, Andy Patton moves up to 4th, but Kurt Schatzer wants that final transfer spot.
Yeah, and these 3 are going to definitely battle it out for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th here. That low side is starting to come in for Andy here.
Absolutely. We'll see how it works out here for the General.
He clears Roger.
Big slider. And they're just about 3 wide off the quarter. Schatzer with a runner. Oh, look out.
Oh,
contact
boy.
with Patton. That got tight as Schatzer muscles his way through to the 4th position. Is he right on board? Oh, Schatzer
boy.
and Craig. Touch off turn 4. Schatzer just let him know that he's there, Isaac.
Yeah, he's all over the tail tank. Oh, and he's going to go out around the outside.
Big send for Schatzer. Off of turn 2. What is this, a drag race? Down the back chute. Schatzer again with that preferred top shelf. That's where you want to be all night long when we get into our 50-lap attraction. 3 laps to go. Meanwhile, Gavin Chatham out in front. He's got a 1.6-second lead on Dean Reynolds at the moment. Nice return for Dino so far, Isaac, to the Rebels.
Yeah, coming back to make his presence felt here with a strong P2. Not really anybody behind him. I mean, Kurt's a ways, but this battle is truly for the transfer position here.
Absolutely. Andy Patton against Roger Craig. Here comes the General as they're side by side, wing to wing once again. Entering turn 3. Slide job from the General. The Bassman counters it back. Patton scrapes the wall with 1 to go. Is that all for the AMJ Custom Creations 87? We're about to find out. Sends it up top, down the back chute. He's got one last chance. Final transfer spot to get in. Craig shuts the door off the corner. Who gets the better exit? Roger Craig does and finishes in 4th. What a heat race to end it.
Holy smokes. Everybody wants to make it.
Absolutely. Well, luckily, everyone will make it in here tonight because we've got 19 drivers with us here on our car count. Is we are ready to go for our B main, brought to you by Gambler Motorsports, an official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Neil Strouser and Andrew Embach make up row number 1. Andy Pat and Ralph Connor Jr. in row 2. And then Isaac Salas and Keith Jackson, row number 3. Dean, talk me through that heat for you, man. What'd you think?
Well, I felt fairly comfortable, but I think I got a little bit too conservative. I didn't think I was going to be able to get Gavin, and then I noticed on the relative, Kurt really closed in quick, so I was just going to have to step it up a little bit more in the feature.
Isaac,
Take a second.
Isaac, he's 2 rows ahead of you, but very surprising to see Embach in our B main tonight, especially coming off that Raiders win.
Yeah, I think the big thing was he was trying to have that cushion help him a little bit, but I don't think that cushion wanted to help him back. So we'll see. He has a good starting spot in this B main.
Absolutely. Winner will start from the inside of row number 7 in our 50-lap feature. Green flag is out. And immediately Embach comes out swinging. He read the start better than the astronaut did in Neil Strouser as they're 2x2 off the quarter, nearly 3 wide. Salas gets away up into the 4th position. Patton goes to 3rd. Connor and Jackson battle for last, but right now Embach has already opened up a 1-second lead, and this is the race for 2nd and even 3rd. Slide job from Salas. Ooh, man, he took a risk there, Dean, and lost 2 spots. Back in the 5th he goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that you're in the B main to get some extra laps, 10 laps on this track for the feature, but, you know, you can also take some chances knowing you got 50 laps ahead of you.
Keith Jackson almost got pinched by Neil Strouser. Strouser hanging on to 3rd just barely. Salas almost takes it 3 wide. Oh, look out! Strouser! Oh, man, 3 cars sideways. Salas, Jackson, and Strouser. And Ralph Connor Jr. gets through to take 3rd. Salas moves up to 4th. Jackson 5th, and Strouser the only one that toes out of that one, Dean.
Yeah, now this track's, you know, when you look at Williams Grove, a big half-mile track, you think it's foot to the floor and just hold it, it's easy to drive. But ask Isaac how easy it is to drive right now when the track gets blown off like this.
It's not going good.
Jackson takes it to pits. Let's show you the Malcolm's Mills mill running replay and what happened. Off of turn 2, Strouser just bounced off the wall and came down to Jackson, and Salas just an innocent bystander. So Andrew Embach still leads. He just set a lap last time by, even while riding the wall, Dean. A second better than Andy Patton at the moment. That's insane.
Yeah, he's looking really smooth, and Williams Grove is one of those tracks that if you can get in that groove, you can make some good steam. But that's where the restarts really kind of play havoc, especially if you are running the outside and you start on the inside. You know, it's I tell people, even in a modified, this track is so technical.
Take a look at the top speed here for Andrew Embach, just about 145 miles an hour that last time by he was running. Isaac Salas, meanwhile, has passed Ralph Connor Jr. for the 3rd position. So a great run for the driver of the 05, up 4 positions from the drop of the green flag. Andy Patton, Dean, still hanging in there, running in P2. Not a bad run for Patton in this B main. Should give him a good start for our 50-lap feature.
Andy's going to be one to look for that 50-lap feature, because one thing that Andy is very smooth. You know, he might not take a lot of chances in these, you know, long-distance races usually play into his hands.
Could be one that contends for a mug tonight. Meanwhile, off of turn 4, an 8.5-second victory for Andrew Embach in our B main tonight. Patton will come home to finish 2nd. Isaac Salas off turn 4. He finishes in 3rd. Ralph Connor Jr. 4th. And Neil Strouser will just tow it, and he'll finish in the 5th position. And it's time for our warm-up watch, brought to you by the Oshweekend Speedway. We'll get you your favorite drivers out here on the racetrack and as soon as possible.
Do I make the list? I want to be a favorite.
We can do that. But you just won't know when.
Oh, the Kramer family in the wall, and I find them.
Yep, there's Mike Kramer in the number 70. So you see, we see how slick this track is at the moment in Isaac. So it looks like a typical Williams Grove race where everyone's going to want the high side.
Oh yeah, and I think maybe a little bit more respect since it is kind of a memorial race here, but I know that there's a lot of people that really want to get their name etched in a Williams Grove winner. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be intense. I know that for sure.
Absolutely, that is for sure here. Dean, what do you think? What do you expect in here as we get to feature time here?
Well, it's going to be unique because this track is going to change a lot, and it's all dependent on how many green flag laps we get in. I guessed on my fuel. I'm not filling it up all the way because I'm expecting some yellow flag laps. And then it's all, when the track gets burned off, you can either run the wall, you can actually roll the middle, or I've seen guys really run the bottom. So, and that's how it was during the matinee today. Of course, Spangler, he just ran where he normally runs. Of course, and those guys just, Cote, Spangler, they just wound up winning it by running the top. So the top probably is the best no matter what you do here, but that's not going to be for Dean.
Yeah, for Dean.
That's not going to be for Dean.
Dean currently 8th quick. Go ahead, Isaac.
I'm pretty excited to see that Tom Downey car sitting on the front row here. To be entirely honest with you,
Me too. And
it's kind of sweet to see it right on pole position for the feature.
That reminds me. Let's see if he is in the chat, and he is. Let's bring him on in here. Let's bring Dan McLaren on in here and talk about this tribute while we're at it, since we've got a lot of more time here than normal. Dan, you got a copy? It's the Booth Boys.
Hey, what's going on, Booth Boys?
Nothing much, nothing much. Let's just begin with Tom here, indeed, as we're watching you warm up on the racetrack. What did your father, or what did Tom Downey, I should say, mean to your father?
It was a racing buddy, man. They met through go-karting over 25 plus years ago, and just went to the dirt track. They dominated in their go-kart series when they raced together. Tom ran the lights, Dad ran the heavies, and they just, once they told each other that they liked racing, that was they became best friends after that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, that's for sure. As we take a look at some of these photos that we were provided here, what would a podium or even a win mean tonight as you start from the pole? Or I should say, taking this car to the green flag with this tribute scheme?
Well, I sent the link out for this race. There's some people that are watching it that it's going to mean a lot to them, even more than me, because they knew Dom a lot longer than I did. But it's just gone way too soon, way too young.
Absolutely. Well, Godspeed. We wish you and your
Bring
family
that car home, Dan.
condolences. All the best tonight. All the best.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Dan McLaren starting on the pole position. Let's meet the other 17 starters here in our Super Dirt Car Series starting lineup. On the front row tonight, it's Dan McLaren in the 88 and Joseph Grandy in the 518. Row number 2, Gavin Chatham in the 99 and Kyle Sargent in the 91. Row number 3, Joe Halter in the 22 and Dean Reynolds in the 79. Row 4, Preston Kramer, the Outlaw in the 07 and John Rayner in the 302. Rounding out the top 10, Superman Kurt Schatzer in the 218 and Mike Cranmer in the 70. Row number 6, Brian Dickens in the 122 and the Bassman Roger Craig in the 747. Row number 7, it is Andrew Embach in the 410 and the General Andy Patton in the 87. Row 8 is Slide Job, Isaac Salas in the 05, and Wreck-It Ralph Connor Jr. in the 54. Row number 9, rounding out the field, is the astronaut Neil Strother in the 68, and Keith Jackson in the 113. As you see, the Steve King Foundation page truck has pulled into pit road. Again, we are not going green. We are doing a very special 4-wide tribute with the missing man. We'll get everyone stacked into place, and then we'll do the honorable reads. But as they stack up here, let's get some picks to win here. Dean?
Well, I mean, the sentimental pick is going to be Dan, of course. And, you know, and I'm going to go with Dan because Dan runs well. He runs good.
All right, good pick with Dan. Isaac?
Well, I want to say Grandy here, to be honest with you. I think Grandy's a pretty good pick here.
All right, well, you see it, ladies and gentlemen. The Rebels are 4 wide. Tonight's Rebel feature event is in honor of Tom Downey. Tom was a lifelong racer and enthusiast. He was taken very quickly by cancer just before Christmas at the age of 53. A sprint car crew chief for the 39 BS car, a racer of motorcycles, cars, karts, in all forms of dirt and asphalt, and in the great outdoors throughout Ontario and the U.S. He was a good friend of Dan McLaren's father and been attending Osh Weekend Speedway with his dad since it opened. We go silent for Tom Downey.
Inside, 2 wide, you're up top, 3 wide. Still there. Still hold.
Fortunately, I'm not going to be able to turn it down.
Yep.
Okay.
Right side, 2 wide. Clear.
Fantastic tribute to Tom Downey. Godspeed on behalf of the racing community. We will definitely miss you, and thoughts and prayers to your friends and family.
The next car's the leader.
So we will get them stacked back up 2 by 2, and we'll be moments away from taking the green flag here. And of course, you see it's lap 5. We had to take some laps off, obviously, with the 4-wide formation. I don't think I gave you guys my pick to win, by the way, but in terms of who's going to win it, I'm going to go Andrew Embach. See if we have a shot at the Triple Crown.
Inside.
Well, they make their way through turns 3 and 4. The field stacked up double wide. And it's Dan McLaren and Joseph Grandy that will bring the field to the green flag. We're glad you could join us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Showtime underway. And the Tom Downey 93, Dan McLaren leads the field off turn number 2. Grandy and Janum side by side for second. Grandy almost loses it. Where'd he go? Excuse me, out of the ballpark, excuse me. Don't worry.
Yellow flag is out.
Caution flag is out on the racetrack. And we're hearing Mike Kramer has crashed it. We had a little blink on our hands for a split second. Apologies about that. But here is what happened to the driver of the 70 machine. It's like, was there some contact with Keith Jackson? There was, and a tough break for Jackson, who'd been trying to fight his way from the back and back up to the front. By the way, for those wondering if you keep hearing a spotter in the background,
Sorry about that.
yeah, that's Dean. We've got some radio communications here.
You get a little bit of in-car,
Yeah, it's a little
footage
behind the
there. There you
scenes.
go.
But
Even the viewers get a little bit of
Wasn't
immersion in
planned.
here.
first, yellow is out, and again, keep in mind for this feature here tonight, the caution laps do count, so the laps will be ticking off every time the drivers come across the start-finish line.
Well,
Three
looks like my guess for fuel has worked.
Nice. 3 drivers have made their way to the pits: Mike Cranmer, Keith Jackson, and Brian Dickens. And
Wow.
Isaac, I think you can talk about because you know Keith Jackson better than anyone else does. That was not the start he wanted. He's always a fast guy, always a threat to win, and now he's gonna go a lap down.
Yeah, man, he's crazy fast. He intimidates you a little bit with just how fast he can be. A very smooth man. So to see kind of those kind of caliber drivers being taken out this early, not the start you want, especially on a memorial race.
How many gallons you put in, Isaac?
I don't know, 20 something.
Yeah, the drivers were all wondering about the fuel mileage coming on in, especially with this race being double the length of a normal Rebels race. It's normally 25, but we have amped it up to 50 laps. We know fuel conservation can be an issue. Just go look back at the Knoxville Nationals we did for our charity race last year. All right.
Oh, man.
10 laps will be completed when we come back to the green flag. Dan McLaren and Joseph Grandy first and second. Gavin Chatham third. Kyle Sargent fourth. Dean Reynolds fifth. Joe Halter, Andrew Umbach, Preston Kramer, Kurt Schatzer, Isaac Salas round out the top 10. Your start was brought to you by Race Against Childhood Cancer. We get to our Mission 22 restart. Green flags back out. McLaren holding serve for right now. Chatham tests the bottom waters for our runner-up spot. Tucks it back in line. First guy on the outside. Look at Andrew Umbach go. Up to fifth, may go up to fourth. He rides the wall for a split second. We've already completed 11 laps. He is in fourth position and just ran the quickest lap at a 19:01 that last time by.
He's doing stuff Dean can't do.
But gotta be careful about riding the wall. But the 2 drivers in second and third on the bottom. Umbach may surprise the both. It's a 3-man smorgasbord for the position. And Umbach's got to run underneath. 3 wide off of 2. Umbach has got a missile. Underneath that 410 and into P2 he goes. Now he just needs to catch that 93. Let's show you the gaps last time by. Look how slower McLaren was. At one time, McLaren was 3/4 of a second slower. And just look at this draft he's got now. No traffic at all. The last time by, he was 2/10 better. Chatham is third. Grandy fourth. Sargent in fifth. What's McLaren feeling? Out of that rear view mirror. Umbach already to the outside, but caught the wall. Nope, the caution flag flew. Wow, McLaren just barely saved by the bow. The caution flag is out, by the way, for John Rayner. And so here's what happened to JR. Ooh, Connor just caught him, and around the 302.1. Luckily didn't loop it 180 degrees. And let's ride on board here with John.
Well, it looks like him and Connor got a little touch.
Yep. Nice save, luckily, for Rayner, and he'll keep that on the lead lap.
Is my hat and shirt out on the track somewheres? Because Umbach just blew by me and ripped it right off.
Up 11 spots from the
Man.
drop of the green flag and almost took the race lead. And that caution flew. I don't know if that's really what you want if you're Dan McLaren. This is just neutral territory for Soupy here at the moment. Let's see what it looks like in car for Dan. There he is. You can see he's completely focused. What about Andrew? Hey, he looks like he's just having a joyride at the moment. Mbach looking for that hard charger award and even a chance at the mug. Remember, was in the B main and won that. Could try and pull a Stephen Gollner like what Gollner did a couple seasons ago at I-55. So McLaren leads, Mbach second, Chatham is third, Grandy fourth, and Sargent fifth. Reynolds sixth, Cranmer seventh, Halter eighth, Patton ninth, and Schatzer round out the top 10. Pace truck brought to you by the Steve King Foundation is in the pits. Mission 22 restart. Dan McLaren is the control car as we're back to racing. 18 laps are complete. First guy to the top shelf immediately. That is Sargent in the 91, and the caution's back out. Roger Craig and Kurt Schatzer spin in turn 2. John Rayner also a part of that, so the positions will not change. Not the caution that the driver of the 91 wanted. Take a look at the Malcolm's replay, show you what happened to the Bassman and Schatzer. Schatzer 2 positions ahead of Craig on the restart. Ooh, Schatzer got in the back of Andy Patton. And Roger with nowhere to go. And man, Dickens just barely dodging a bullet there. That's right on board here with Kurt Schatzer. So caution flag flies once again. Let us know who you're rooting for.
Me.
In the chat. Hello to Tyler, our macho man watching. Devo watching as well, and we got Vanderpool Racing rooting for
Devo's rooting for
Andrew
me. I know he
Mbach.
is. Devo likes Dino.
So Isaac, let's talk about you at the moment. You're up 5 spots. Very quiet run for you at the moment. But I gotta ask now, what's it take to try and get the next 5 positions out here on the track?
Honestly, from what I've seen so far, is hit your line better than the rest of them. I've been running the bottom behind all these guys, and they're giving me a lot of opportunities to get something on them, but just gotta get it.
Lights are off the Steve King Foundation pace truck. We will go green this time by. McLaren leads, Mbach second, Chatham third, Grandy fourth, Sargent round out the top 5, Reynolds sixth, Cranmer seventh, Halter eighth, Patton ninth, and Salas round out the top 10. No change obviously with the starting positions except for the back 3. Mission 22 restart. Once again. And a great jump for the McLaren 88 ride. As he holds serve. More guys rocking it up to the top. First guy you see is Sargent in the 91. Makes his way up to 5th. Let's see if he can get 4th on Joseph Grandy. Gavin Chatham rides the wall, and the race for the lead is on. Here comes Mbach in the 410. It's McLaren, though, that leads the line. Better run is on the top, but Mbach wants to make a pass in the basement, and he does. McLaren lets him have it. Almost gives the bumper to the 410. Andrew Mbach takes the lead away at Williams Grove. Nearly 3 wide meanwhile for the 3rd position. 4 cars all under a blanket. Grandy, Chatham, Sargent, and Reynolds. Look at Kyle go! The 90, never mind, caution waved as he was about to make the run work.
That was 3 wide there for a while.
It was Mike Cranmer and Ralph Connor Jr. that bring the yellow flag out.
Oh, Ralph disconnected.
And let's show you what happened here. Here you see Cranmer in the 70. Watch Craig and Connor ahead of him. Ooh, Connor is already sideways. Well, let's ride on board here with Wreck-It Ralph. Give you a better idea.
Ooch.
That's why Ralph Connor went out of his car. He,
Yep, I got hit hard.
yep, he flipped off turn number 4. But we have a new leader here at Williams Grove Speedway, and that is Andrew Embach, who is having a hot race at the moment. As he now begins to lead the second half of this race. This will be interesting as well to see who can lead the most laps in this one. Embach has led only 2 so far, only 3 actually, I should say. Meanwhile, for Dan McLaren, he led the first 24 in the Tom Downey 93.
Still some laps left.
Absolutely. Still some laps left as we
Yep.
are past our halfway mark. Hello to Hunter Finney, who is
Now about the
watching,
distance of a normal Rebels race.
who is watching on the Coast to Coast Racing League YouTube page. By the way, if you are new to the Coast to Coast Racing League YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Currently over
Yes, Dad.
500 subscribers and counting. All right.
If you're watching, Dad, subscribe.
Yes, Dean's dad is watching in the chat. So, all right, Embach leads. McLaren second, Grandy third, Chatham fourth, Kyle Sargent round out the top 5. Let's watch that 91 closely. He has found something on the top that I don't think anyone else has yet tonight as we're back to green. And there he goes. See if it works. Looks for 4th on Gavin Chatham. But he sticks the wall for just a second. Meanwhile, Embach tries to open up a gap on Dan McLaren. Is it going to work? We'll see. Grady and Chatham working the bottom, though, in 3rd and 4th. That's something you don't normally see at Williams Grove, unless your name is Brennan Lacey, who we'll see later on tonight. Hang on, Preston Cranmer. Loosey-goosey off turn 4. Saves it. He's running in the 9th position on the track. Sargent still ripping the top. Can he close it on Chatham? Big run. Will it work for 4th? Now around the outside on Grandy. 3 wide. Look out. Chatham and Grandy touch. Woo. Great save. That puts Dean up to 5th meanwhile. And Kyle Sargent has broken into a podium spot. For the first time today, we've got under 20 laps to go. And his next target is set on Dan McLaren. You see that dot's going to get closer and closer in his virtual rear view mirror. That just shows you how wide Williams Grove Speedway is, especially in the corners. Here's an update on Isaac Salas, the 05 car. Moves up to 7th past Andy Patton for right now. We'll see if he can secure it at the start-finish line, which he can. The General with the crisscross into 1 and 2. We'll have 15 laps to go here at the start-finish line. Embach has checked out. What a gap. A 4-second lead on Dan McLaren, and nobody's going to get him unless he's involved in an accident. Let's show you the lap times, the last 5 laps. That just shows you how better Andrew Embach is here at Williams Grove. He's gained 4 to 5 tenths on the gap on that. Meanwhile, Sargent is there, but he rides the wall in 3 and 4. He had a huge head of steam. So he tries it once again. On board with a 91. If you want to see how close he gets the outside, take a look at this. "12 laps to go at the line. That's your best race on the track." Here's Gavin Chatham on Dean Reynolds. Watts fifth back after him, and Grandy collided. Looks underneath, excuse me, looks up high. Can't get the big speed compared to Dean. And they hold positions for right now. 11 laps to go. It'll be 10 this time. A straightaway lead for Andrew Umbach. That's the race we're watching for second. Well, Umbach starts to approach lap traffic. He laps the 68 of Neil Strausser. Longest run we've seen in this race so far tonight. Sargent still trying everything on Dan McLaren. Seven-second lead for Umbach with 9 to go. Let's compare the last 5 laps for Kyle Sargent on Dan McLaren. McLaren's been a 10th better in the last 2 laps. But that high side may have just given up on his end. Look how slick it's getting.
Should try for my seat.
Yeah, it's too slick for Dean. He's riding the bottom. Isaac Salas, meanwhile, you just saw him pinch the wall just a bit. He runs in the 7th position. And looks on Chatham for 6th. Can't take it away just yet. Oh, Preston Cranmer is loose. He saves it, and he's stopped on the track. The caution comes out.
I kind of didn't want that.
The over 8-second lead for Andrew Umbach is extinguished. And we will
insane.
have a restart with probably 2 laps to go. Here's what happened to the Outlaw. Umbach was lapping him. Ooh, he just had too much gas in it, I think, in turn 4, and around it went. Well, sideways it went, and then stopped. That car may have run out of fuel, guys. I don't know. Let's listen.
I still got 16 laps left on my tank.
Nope, he just gassed it too much in turn 4. And tried to keep it straight, but no, the left front Hoosier caught the wall. So Cranmer's night will come to an end. Currently scored in the 15th position, and that is where he will finish his night tonight. Don't forget, Renegade fans and drivers, coming up at the top of the hour will be our 30-lap feature. So
Well, Dan, maybe somebody above is looking for Dan. Maybe this will help him.
Absolutely. We'll see if McLaren can win this race. Of course, a couple of changes we saw there on our longest run of the day. Obviously, Kyle Sargent moved up to 3rd. Dean Reynolds up into the 5th position. Chatham dropped down to 6th. Isaac Salas moved up into 7th. And again, top 10 transfer, all IL depending, as we are now in week 3 of the year. We will have 3 laps to go to determine a winner tonight in the Tom Downey Memorial. Andrew Umbach, Dan McLaren, Kyle Sargent, or the field belt to find out. Crunch time here at Williams Grove. We got 3 laps to determine who's on top. Umbach decides to take the high side. Works on his end. McLaren stuck on the bottom, and Sargent rides the wall off turn 2. Oh, Salas and Reynolds, 3 wide up top for 5th. Look at Isaac go. Takes away P5. Not yet. 2 laps to go. Sargent still in that 3rd position. He wants second Bailey from McLaren. Into turn 3. Sargent takes second. 1 lap remaining at Williams Grove Speedway. And it's been Andrew Embach in the second half of this race. He won the B main, made his way up 11 positions at the end of about 15 laps or so. Off of turn 4, Embach will see the checkers. He takes the win. He's got a chance at a Triple Crown tonight. Sargent second, McLaren third, Grandy fourth, Salas in the top 5. Isaac, though, unfortunately, 3 spots, I should say, short of getting the Hard Charger Award. As Grandy's got enough field, excuse me, Embach has enough field to do some donuts. So your top 3 will pose for a photo. And again, our Renegades will be coming up in just under 10 minutes or so.
I'm gonna run.
And we'll begin with Dan McLaren, our 3rd place finisher. Dan, hell of a first half, man. A great first half. Definitely did it for Tom. A podium, though, I know you can't be disappointed about one bit. Putting that tribute car in the top 3.
Yeah, absolutely not, man. That was a lot of fun. Really cool to do this for Tom. I know he would have loved it. I mean, getting the heat win, that was cool. Getting started on the front row, the 4 wide, all of it, and then yeah, Andrew's he was gone. He was on rails, man. But no, that was a lot of fun. Good race from all the guys.
What else do you want to say about this run tonight?
It's just that you know, never take life for granted, man. You never know what's gonna happen. So live life best way you can and enjoy the loved ones around you and just have a lot of fun and keep the rubber side down.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Weldstar Custom Fabrications, Spartan Racing, VMR Wraps, Brian Lawson at Magnum Race Designs for painting the car up for me. Did a fantastic job. Roger for making all this happen, and you guys for putting on an amazing broadcast.
All right, well, we will let you go, man. Great run and good luck in Renegades.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Good job, Dan.
Dan McLaren, our 3rd place finisher. Let's go to our 2nd place finisher in Kyle Sargent. Kyle, I got to ask first off early on, how good was that top of the track?
It was good. If you could hit it every lap, I mean the bottom had its time, of course, but I knew that, or I was hoping that the top would come in eventually. I was able to maintain up there for quite a bit of the race, and then finally I started seeing the momentum gain, and I tried the middle of the track a few times, just trying to see if there's a little bit of a shorter way around that's just as fast, but it's
yeah.
I'll say, yeah, it finally came in and got me to second, but I don't think I had anything for Andrew.
It seemed, yeah, nobody had anything for Andrew. It seemed like everyone wanted to run the low and middle groove of the track. What were you thinking from your perspective? Was the low and middle groove working out for you as well?
Not really, no. I was getting really loose to the low and middle. Doing that's gonna, with long straights like this, you're gonna lose a lot of speed down that straightaway, which I was able to carry that speed through running the high side. So just, it was a waiting game, you know.
Absolutely, man. Great run for you. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I just want to give a shout out to ABR Setup Shop for setting us up with such good setups, and DNT Designs.
All right, well, we'll let you go. Best of luck in the Renegades feature, man.
Thanks, Marty.
Kyle Sargent, our second place finisher, as we go to Cool Ray Victory Lane to talk with your winner. He won the B main, and now he's your feature winner in the Rebels tonight. Andrew Embach, what a car. How does this one feel?
You know, it feels pretty good. I took about probably almost a whole season off, and I really worked on my throttle control and hitting my marks, and it's turned out well for me.
Yeah, we were wondering where you were last season, so it's great to see you back in this league, man. I don't know what else to say except that top was bad fast for you, and no one had anything for you tonight. Like, you were putting off laps that were probably 5 to 7 tenths better than other drivers out there.
Yeah, on them restarts, some of those I was down to the bottom, and I just had to work my way up towards the top. And once we got up there, the car was doing what it should have been doing.
Is Williams Grove a track you really like in particular?
I sure do. It's one of my favorites.
That's awesome, man. I gotta ask as well because there was a chance at it last week. Are you gonna go for the Triple Crown tonight in the Renegades?
Oh, we're gonna give her the best I can.
Oh, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here. Who do you want to give
Marty?
Who
I was going to say, though, you know, it was very rude that he waved to me as he blew by the outside of me, got coming out of 4. You know, I thought that was a little cocky. What a move Andrew D made, man. What a move. That was something.
Absolutely. Who do you want? Yeah, go ahead, Dean.
No, I was going to say congrats to him, man.
Yeah,
That was
absolutely.
well earned.
Andrew, real quick, who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I just really want to give a shout out to the boys over at Vanderpool Racing. They put me in a good spot, and I'm glad I got on their team a while back.
Awesome, man. Well, we'll let you go. Congratulations. Good luck in Renegades action.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You as well. Andrew Embach, your winner is he's in Cool Ray Victory Lane. Big congratulations to the driver of the 410, and he's got a shot at sweeping the night. Well, let's give you your official results here from tonight's running. You see Andrew Embach with the win, the biggest mover in our All About Tie-Dye Hard Charger Award from 13th to the win. Kyle Sargent 2nd, Dan McLaren 3rd, Joseph Grandy 4th, Isaac Salas 5th, Gavin Chatham 16th, Reynolds 7th, Andy Patton 8th, Roger Craig 9th, and Kurt Schatzer 10. Those drivers all eligible to move up into
Good run,
Renegades
job. Good run.
IL pending. And I believe we have both Chatham and Embach that will be going for, that will be soupy tonight. They are running alphabet soup here. So with that being said, we will take our intermission this evening. And when we come back, it's the second act of our broadcast, the Renegades for 30 laps. So stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
It's Florida in February. Kick off 2023 with the Dirt Car Nationals at Volusia Speedway Park. Sprint cars, late models, and modifieds at the world's fastest half mile. World of Outlaw Sprint cars and Dirt Car UMP modifieds February 6th through the 11th. World of Outlaws late models and Super Dirt Car Series Big Block modifieds February 13th through the 18th. Tickets and camping at dirtcarnationals.com. February 6th through the 18th at Volusia Speedway Park. Be there.
Hi, I'm Olivia Olson, Industrial Engineering Junior and Club Volleyball member here at Penn State. I'm very excited to say that Thon is right around the corner, just a month away. And for those of you that don't know, Thon is the largest student-run philanthropy in the entire world. They're committed to raising funds and supporting those who are affected by childhood cancer. This year, Thon is taking a very different meaning for me. Last March, just as the weather was getting ready to turn, we were all super excited to go play some more outdoor volleyball. One of my best buddies, Jesse King, went home for a routine checkup. Fast forward 60 days later, and he's just waking up from a medically induced coma. 6 months later, he's just being released from the hospital after being diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Now, kid's a fighter. He made it through chemo, radiation, and he's currently battling his way through extensive cognitive and physical therapies. He's doing great. He's finally letting out some of that personality that we've all been missing for so long. Luckily, the King family, thanks to 4 Diamonds, has yet to see a medical bill. There are a lot of families that can say the same out of all the good that's come out of this. So if you would like to join me and Club Volleyball in the fight against childhood cancer, please click the link to donate. Any size donation makes a world of difference for the King family and families alike. If donating at this time isn't the best option for you, please, 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 please share this video, because the more eyes on it, the better, and every dollar truly does make a difference. In addition, any thoughts, prayers, good vibes are always greatly appreciated, because we just want our best buddy back at school with us. All that being said, please always remember to never take anything for granted. Tell the people around you that you love them loud and often, and even the smallest acts can make a world of difference. Many thanks and lots of love from me and the Club Volleyball family and all of those being supported by Thon and 4 Diamonds.
There we go.
All right, everyone. We welcome you to the Coast to